So we're going to start with doing a few punches. So kind of a similar idea, but then we're going to add some kicks to it, do a kind of a combination with it. Okay? So left leg forward, come on. So the first thing is just oizuki. Okay? So we're going to step forward, nice, relax, and oizuki snap. Yeah? So we're going to do it to my count, nice and relaxed. Okay? From here. Each. And back. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Good. Okay. So similar to what was said before, you've got to think about the timing within the technique. Okay. So the slowest part of it are your feet. That's the slowest part. Okay. Second, your hands. Last bit, your hips. Okay. I'll cut my head off. So a little bit like Scott said, he was saying, if you land and then you punch, then you've broken that timing. If your hips are square before you land, you've broken it. So your feet, your hands, your hip, they all work at a different speed, but they all end up together. That's the idea of it, okay? So they work at a different speed. They leave the station at a different time. They arrive at the destination together. And that's harder than it seems to practice or to attain, if you like. So I have the idea of as if somebody's holding your shoulder or your hand back. Don't bring it back, keep it here. But as you're stepping, step, keeping your hip back. And then at that point, everything's got to land together. And as Sensei said, you snap it off. You know, like the target is white hot. Don't place it. It's got to be and off. That kime, okay? Should we try that? And it's not speed. It doesn't have to be fast. So nice and relaxed. Let's try and get that, okay? So feet, hand, hips. Each. And back. Keep the hip back. Knee. Don't pull that front hand back too early either. San. Shi. Good, because quite a few of you are doing this, okay? So you step, your hip turns, and then you're here, and then you do this. It's more like a kizami, yeah? So you're losing all that body movement, all that rotation of the hip, because you've let it all finish too early. Hold it back, you know, like elastic band, ping, you let it go at the end. Let's try. Each. Hold it back. Ni. San. Yeah. Shi. Oh, it's better. Go. Rook. Shit. Yeah, good. But, you know, just like the last class, you don't forget that. You've got to, boom, that snap off. Don't place it there, okay? Good, chase down to the leg forward. Let's try. Each. Knee. Pound. Some. She. Go. Rook. Sheet. Ha. Good, and shake it off. Okay, so just a quick thing about that, really. That coordination of your body, really, is, I remember a chap coming into, hold on, my computer's falling over. I remember a chap coming into my dojo. As he came in my dojo, he filled the door. He was that big. He filled the door. He was like a man mounted. He came in, and the first thing I thought was, well, I want to get him on the pads, see what he can do. This will be good. You know, I want to feel how he can hit the pad. He hit the pad. He couldn't have burst a paper bag. Okay, it was useless. And yeah, I've had people that come in and they're like that, and they hit the pad, and I think, God, I wouldn't want to get hit by that. And the difference is, the guy that was like this, not everybody is like that, obviously just because he was big, but he was not coordinated. His body didn't move as a unit. It kind of fought against itself. And this is part of it. That one moves ahead, so you lose all that power, all that latent power that you had was wasted because he didn't have the timing within that technique to use it, okay? So that's kind of what we're aiming for. You want to get the maximum out of what you've got. Okay? Awesome. All right, so left leg forward this time, come on. So this time we're going to do heel step Kizami. Okay? So again, our feet are going to come up here. Look. It's going to close, and then extend. Yeah? So when you do the Kizami, rotate and extend. Don't just rotate. Okay? So from there, you want to rotate and extend like you would with an arake. You wouldn't just do this. You would extend the hip. Okay? So heel step, Kizami, and then back. Oh, so we try? Nice and relaxed. Each. Relax your upper body. Knee. Good. San. Good. So it's not absolutely necessary to do hikite here. But you know what it does? It gives you the feeling of your whole body's involved in it. And so again, a little bit like we were talking before. Okay? It's not just this. It's that, this, that, the extension, the hikite. And you're getting that connection to your center, okay? Don't just think upper body. Okay, let's go. Itch. Good. Knee. San. And again, snap it off. Like kime. Shi. Go. Ruk. Good. Last thing, don't do this and that, okay? What you were doing the first class, that was different. You were bringing your body back and doing this, okay? From here, you're going from this stance to bring your hand back here and then to go to there. In kumite, that's forever, okay? It needs to go straight from that point. Don't cock the hand back, okay? Straight from there when you're doing it. The body and the feet are doing all the hard work and your hips. Boom, that's just the last part. Okay, let's try. Each. Knee. Good. San. Shi. Go. Good. And switch stance at the side. Keeping the elbows in. Each. Elbows in, knee. San. Shi. Go. Ruk. That's good, Natalie. Seat. Ha. Good. And yame. Shake it off. You okay with that? Any questions on that? We're good? Yeah, okay. Left leg forward, come on. Okay, so this time, from here, you're going to bring it up, keep your hips back, and then we're going to land Gyaku-zuki, okay? So, the temptation will be to do this, okay? Dum, dum, okay? We want it to land together. Foot, hips, breath, everything. That's what we're aiming for, okay? Let's try. So, come on. Each. Knee. Keep the hip back. San. Shi. Go. Yeah, don't. Okay, so look. Don't let this happen. There. Keep the hip back, okay? Keep the hip back and the shoulder back. And then drive it. And you're coming up behind. You're not coming up in front like this. You're coming behind. The knee comes up here, okay? That way. Not up here and square on. Us? Let's try. Itch. It's almost like you're hiding that shoulder and hand from me, okay? Knee. Gyaku-zuki. San. Shi. Go. Good. Switch stance. Let's try other side. Ich. Gyaku-zuki. Ni. Pow. Sam. Shi. Go. Ruk. Shich. Ha. Kyu. Ju. Good, anyame. Shake it off. Good. So it's timing. It's all about timing, yeah? Okay, so this time, slightly different footwork, all right? So from here, we're going to keep a loaded stance, okay? And then we're going to move with our feet this way. We're not going to bring our feet together this time, okay? So don't go in a big long stance. It's a loaded stance, and I want that. So you push onto your back bed, but keep your feet apart, almost like you've got a bar between your ankles, okay? And don't be flat on your stance. When I say it's got to be loaded, it's got to be, you know, like I was explaining earlier, if you see like a golf ball, it's made up of lots and lots of elastic bands that are wound and wound and wound and wound. So that when you bounce it on concrete, it flies up, and that's because it has all that energy sort of trapped up in it. So it's stretched, the elastic is. And that's basically what you're doing to your muscle, okay? You in a stance here and you just propped up like a, you know, pyramid. When you go here, you load. So you're loading your muscles ready to explode. It's like that plyometric kind of movement, okay? So that's where you are with this. You're on the balls of your feet more, your knees are in slightly, and it's boom, boom, bam, bam, that. So we add Kizami-zuki, Gyaku-zuki, okay? So from here it will be Kizami-zuki, Gyaku-zuki. Same techniques. Shall we try? Left leg forward. Ich. Ni. San. Yeah, don't forget the hips. Shi. Go. Ruk. Shit. Good, okay, so what happens is this, with a lot of people, you go one, and then the back leg comes up for Gyaku-zuki. Nothing wrong with that. It's just not the footwork we're doing. We're doing a different type of footwork, okay? That's good, but we're not doing that. This is kind of harder, but you're keeping your legs apart. So this sort of a movement, we're not bringing them together at this point, okay? Keeping your feet apart as you do it. Let's try again. It's up to you. You can switch or you can stick to your favorite side. It's up to you. Ich. Ni. Good, excellent. San. Pow. Ping off the target. Shi. Don't place it. Shi. Go. Ruk. Shich. Good, and yame. Shake it off. Any questions on that before we start adding a few kicks on it?
Sensei,
Where are we? Yes.
I missed when you demonstrated before. After the Kizami-zuki, are you moving both feet as you go in for Gyaku-zuki, or are you just extending the front leg?
Both feet. So obviously the driving force is going to be off the back, but both feet are moving forward. You're not going and the back foot's coming up afterwards. You're dong, dong. That's the movement. A little bit like a fencer would move. Yeah?
Us.
And without training the back foot. Is that okay? Us? Everybody else all right?
Well, Sensei.
All right.
Sensei.
Yeah.
Is it almost like a 1-2, 1-2, like real quick? or because it almost looked like you're almost simultaneously shifting both feet, keeping them equidistant, as opposed to a left, right, really, really quick, but not.
Yeah, the feet are moving together. I mean, you're pushing off the back foot, but it will be dom, dom.
Okay.
As you land, Kizami-zuki, Gyaku-zuki. So we still want it to be, two moves? We don't want it to be one punch, that's 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? So the principle of the first bit is your foot lands, bang, your technique lands. This sort of move comes because when you're reacting to somebody when you're doing kumite, that bringing your feet together, it can be very vulnerable, can be. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but does that answer your question? Yeah?
Us.
Okay. Right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna add mawashi-geri onto this, but just a quick explanation of sort of the way you use your feet when you're doing your kicks, that I found very useful, okay? So, because it's kind of simple. When you use them, when you do mawashi-geri, so it's the position of your foot when you kick, okay? So I always think of karate as coming from the floor up, all right? And a lot of my, contemporaries, they got problems with their knees, hips, back, and so on, hip replacements when they're in the late 40s and so on, because they could generate such a lot of power, but not really having the body in the right place when they delivered that power, okay? So this was one of the best things I learned was when you do a mawashi-geri, obviously your foot's forward. As you deliver the kick, it will slightly turn, okay? If I do a kiyagi, so a kiyagi, so I'm kicking forward on a kiyagi. A kiyagi, Shotokan does kiyagi, where other styles do a mawashi-geri. So when you see a mawashi-geri in a kata, in storu and so on, we do kiyagi, okay? And if you see it, there's no rotation on the sport foot. People do it. We were taught there was rotation early on. You see my books, great big rotation and so on like this. But when I started using kiyagi, it was like this. It's like a mawashi-geri, same action as a mawashi-geri, foot here. So, mawashi-geri, kiyagi. Here, mawashi, uramawashi, kikomi. And then here, yushirogeri. And so that position of your foot tends to release your hip. So it's not your joints that are stopping the kick, it's your muscles. Your muscles are designed to do that. We don't want our joints. So I don't want to be doing a mawashi with my foot facing forward or even here, because then it's my hip and kind of my knee that takes all the strain, and it's not a stronger kick. So that's my idea on the kick. So what I would say is when you do this mawashi, the prime thing that I would say is rotate on your supporting foot, okay? Rotate on your supporting foot. That'll release your hip. You can be on one line when we do it. So from here, we're gonna have one leg forward. Your choice, doesn't matter. We're gonna do Kizami-zuki, Gyaku-zuki, okay? We'll do it to my count first, all right? So right leg forward, each. Leave the hand here. And then I want you to come up, mawashi-geri, then heel step back. Good. So I want you to kick, then heel step back. So you end up in the same place. Okay. Should we try? And relax your upper body. That's right. Each. Knee. Then come up. Arm back. Good. Knee. Good. We'll do one count slow. San. Kizami-zuki, Gyaku-zuki. Then come up front leg mawashi. Good. Go. Rook. Sheet. Good. And when you use this, it's your choice how far this back leg comes up. If your opponent is close, it may be that you just rotate on this foot and come up mawashi. A little bit further away, you decide how far this foot comes in before you deliver the kick. That's a distance thing, yeah? But for this practice, we're going to come all the way up and then do mawashi. Okay, let's try. Each. Kizami-zuki, Gyaku-zuki, front leg mawashi, fluid and relaxed, okay? Knee. San. Shi. Go. Good. So again, going back to what we said before, don't do this here and then come up with your feet square and then try and do a kick. 1, 2, when you come up on one line this way. Don't come up square and then try and do a basic kick. 1, 2, come up, body's turned for mawashi. Okay? Let's try again. Switch. Good, that's good. Ha. Finish the kicks though. 1, drive the hip in and then come out. Q. Ju. Good, okay, so the point of doing the punches at the beginning is so that you don't forget them, because what happens is now, okay, now we're doing mawashi and then you see this. And then you can't wait to do the mawashi and forget about the punches. 1, these punches, you either hit the person with them, bang, bang, and then finish with the mawashi, or it's all a lead up to this, up, down, up again with the kick. Yeah? So you've got to drive in with that Gyaku-zuki, because that creates the space for this and the momentum. That rotation helps you with the kick coming up, okay? Try again. Let's go. Each. Whichever leg you want to do it with is up to you. It doesn't matter. Knee. San. Shi. Excellent. Good. Okay. So this time, just shake it off a little bit. So the other thing is that when you're doing any kind of a kumite technique or any kind of a combination, if there's a gap, somebody's going to fill it. All right. And what you don't want is you don't want them to fill the gap. You fill the gap. So as I said before about coming up, the kind of weak point here is when you bring your feet up. That's when you get the punch or whatever. Okay. So it's important you go Kizami-zuki, Gyaku-zuki. When you come up with your back leg, use this hand, because what people do is they go 1, 2, and their hands are here like a, like a T-Rex, and they're sort of doing this, right? 1, 2, you bring that arm, that becomes part of the movement. There. So it's 1, 2, 3, kick. And of course, the difference is this. If I'm doing it to you, then I come up with the kick, you see everything. Now I use the hand, and then you don't see that kick coming up. Understand? Yeah? So it's 1, 2, 3, kick. Bam, 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 kick. Bam, 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 kick. Yeah? Yeah, you don't know how to use the emojis either, do you, Scott? Okay. Oh. Shall we try, yeah? So, punch, punch, cover, kick. Punch, punch, cover, kick. Yeah? Relaxed. Each. Knee. Pam, pam, pam. San. Shi. That's it. Fluid. Keep relaxed. Go. Yeah, don't forget them Gyaku-zukis. Drive in. Look, let your back heel come up and drive in. The more you drive in, the better this next part will be. Don't skimp on the punches, okay? Plus, you're reacting with this. What happens here is, bang, you hit them with Kizami. You go for Kizami, or they move. Bam, you hit them Gyaku-zuki. You go Kizami-zuki, Gyaku-zuki, they cover the Gyaku-zuki. And as you're coming away, bang, you hit them with a kick. I see it all the time. So what it does is, it's A4. You either hit them with the Kizami or the Gyaku-zuki or the mawashi or the 2 punches, or you hit them with all 3. Yeah? But don't skimp on the bits before. Let's go. Each. Good. Excellent. Knee. San. Brilliant. Shi. Turn on your foot. Roll, Fernand. Shi. Ha. Q. Good. Okay, relax a second. Okay, so the other thing is, when you come, and this is partly to do with the rotation of the foot as well. You know, when you see a mawashi, and you see my head here, and then the kick coming around here, like that. The only time you see me doing that is if a magazine or something, or somebody's asked a photo, and they say, do the kick, but I want to see your face here. I don't want to kick like that. When you see the mawashi, actually, it's there in front of my face. And my body should all be on one line here. That's what I want, because I don't want my opponent to see this. You understand? So you want to be on one line. And if they think they're going to come in and do a Gyaku-zuki, they're going to run into this leg. You understand? So you're protected all the time. Don't go forward with your body. Okay? Right, let's try. Just a few more, and then we'll move on. Ready? And if you've got any questions after this, you can ask. Each. Good. Knee. 1, 2, 3, kick. Punch, punch, cover, kick. Some. Yeah, get those hips rotating. She. Go. And yeah, man, shake it off. Well done. Okay, if you've got a quick drink, grab a very quick drink, or you can ask me a question.
Sensei.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Felipe from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
Hi, Felipe.
Nice to meet you, Sensei. Is there any problem if I ask a question for the Kizami-zuki you did in the first time, or are you gonna?
That's all right. No, ask away. You're okay.
Okay, I'm just asking how you do it. I don't know if you can see my feet. I'll try to talk very fast. It's like you say you bring your feet to the half part. Just here. Maybe not.
Shall I show you?
Yeah, you do like. My question is.
Yeah, I'm watching.
How your hip? Do you use your hips like this when you put? It doesn't matter. Just come natural. Just this question.
Yeah. Well,
you understand what I said?
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say.
When you bring it.
Yeah. So you don't bring it. So what you don't do is, we're not bringing the hips square. You don't need to bring the hips square. Your hips are here. They're not completely to the side, but they're here. And then, bearing in mind, the Kizami is just this. Going back to what Scott Sensei said in his first class, okay? But all it is rotation, a bit of extension on the hip, and then the rest of it, the body, the hand, okay? So small movement, the hip works, but we don't want to, as we would say, don't overcook it. So you're not going to come up and go square and then go there, because if you go square, you get hit.
Oh,
yeah?
Thank
so
you.
You're keeping your guard and you're covering your body, yeah?
Oh, Sensei, thank you.
Sensei.
Okay? Who's that?
Vince. Cincinnati.
Oh, hi. Yeah?
Hey, so when we do the step up, can you do a skip 1, 2?
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the only thing I would say is, when you say skip, try not to lift your body off. You know, so in other words, it's not. You don't want that movement.
Okay.
You know, you want to stay level. So that's why I'm saying you sort of bring that leg up. So it's 1, 2, boom, there. So skip, I would be careful of, because it sort of gives the impression that you're slightly out of control in the middle part of it. You know, because when you're staying low and you're compressing that stance in, you see, for example, if I go 1, 2, and I come here and I see a punch coming, boom, and then I'm going to guard again.
Okay.
I'm skipping my body forward.
Yeah.
Do you like that? It's very artistic.
Thank you.
Then, yeah, that's not what you're aiming for. Yeah. Okay, so we move on. Us, right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add. Sorry, I had a really nice setup before. I got all inventive. Right. We're going to add uruma wash. Okay, so uruma wash it's not an easy kick. People go, oh, like this. But uruma wash is not a hard kick. Forget about how high it has to be. But what I would say is with uruma wash is that you don't kick and turn at the same time. That's what people do. Some people, okay? So you'll come up and you go like this. So your kick's going that way and your hips are going this way. Okay? the timing with uramawashi is you'll come up, and as you lift to kick, your foot will finish slightly before you start to kick. Okay? So I haven't got a Ross, I've got a Bob. Look here. So if you see with Bob,
Is that Bob Ross?
if I go like this, then nothing happens to Bob, okay? It's just hand. But you want to come up, and then the foot finishes slightly before, and then that happens. So just like mawashi, yushirogeri, kiyagi, etc. With uramawashi, it's kind of it's that move. So it will be there, and it's easy. Doesn't hurt my hip, doesn't hurt anything. And it was kind of a revelation to me that slight turn, same with kikomi, it finishes slightly, and then you kick. And so you're not doing a rotation and losing some of the power. So the idea is turn, kick, turn, kick. That's the best thing I'd tell you, okay? And the next most important thing with this kick is breathe. Now, we all know we breathe on every technique. That's a given. But you know what? 90% of people stop breathing on uramawashi. And the reason is because they think, they go, hold, bring it back. So what they do is they bring it up, the body contracts. So you literally on this kick, humor me and really exaggerate your breath. Okay? On it, okay? And just see if it flows a little bit better, because it did for me, okay? So, having said all that, we're going to do Kizami-zuki, Gyaku-zuki. We're going to come up exactly the same, knee behind, uramawashi, heel step back. That's all we're going to do, okay? But use it to practice your uramawashi. And if you kick this high, perfect. Better to kick this high, but have a good kick, and then you can work on speed and height afterwards. That's not really important, okay? Well, shall we try? So same, look, 1, 2, come up, uramawashi and back. Yeah? Keep it low, don't worry about it. Knee. San, bam, bam. Good. Remember, don't turn and kick same time. Don't do that. Do it mega slow if you want to. Turn, kick, turn, kick, turn, kick. And you can have a big gap between it to start with, and then it'll be a smaller gap, and then you don't see the gap. Okay? It's just timing. Sheech. 1, 2. That's good. Ha. And if don't let the foot go too early. It's like kikomi. Everybody wants the foot to get to the target. Don't. Be patient. Take your time. Ping. Okay? She. That's good, Tommy. Go. Good. And try not to have your leg on. Your leg on? What's your leg on? Okay? Try not to have your leg extended all the way through the kick. Okay? The reason I know this is because I've done all this. I've made all these mistakes. I've done, won competitions with like a dong like this, but it's, you want to send it out like every other kick. Ping. It comes in like a snake's tongue, whack, and hits. That's what you want. Don't think of going like that. It's horrible and clunky. You want the leg loose. The leg needs to be loose. Let's see. Probably going to drop my camera. Okay. It wants to come up loose. Up. Okay. Boom and back. Okay. Right. Let's try. We're ready. Nice and fluid. So remember what we did before? Punch, punch, cover, kick. Punch, punch, cover, kick. Relax your upper body. Don't tense. Itch. Fluid, fluid, fluid. Excellent. Keep your knee high. Don't let your knee drop. If your knee drops, then your foot goes up to the ceiling. Better you do a lower kick, but keep your knee high. Okay? Knee. That's good, Paul. San. She. Go. Rook. Shoot. Don't forget. Don't forget. So a lot of you are doing, I'm seeing a few of you doing this with your punches, and then you sort of kick it over here. You know? This is good practice. This. A bow or a joe or a broom handle or a mop or whatever. There, come up. Round. Boom. But don't have it there. Have it there in front of your front foot. So you've got to come up and round. Okay? Yeah? Right, last go. Wow, that went fast. Okay, so we're going to do 5 really fast if you can, but be careful. And then you can ask me any questions. Yep. Let's go. Ready? Each. Good. Knee. Do the punches. Some. Really go in with that Gyaku-zuki. It'll help on the kick. Shi. Last one, Kia. Go. And yummy. Oh, good. Okay, good. Well done. Feet together. Right? Us.